Dude, Luke, the printer's still busted. What the fuck, man?
Almost 2 years. Which part of the dress code do you understand? So I'm like not getting my girlfriend's Snapchats. Are you working on something?
How's it going, everybody? Welcome to episode 42 of the Topless Robot podcast. My name is Ryan.
My name is Brooks.
And my name's Tyler.
And these hoopy fruits have just downed some Pangalactic Gargle Blasters, and with towels in tow, we are ready to celebrate the 42nd episode of the Topless Robot podcast.
Absolutely. And I'd like to say that I always knew that I'd be a man that knew where his towel was, and here I am.
Yeah, you know, weirdly, my towel tends to always be in my bathroom.
Well, then you know where your towel is.
Exactly.
Weirdly tends to be there, like you're not expecting
in that
in your bathroom.
I usually keep my towels in the attic.
You know,
keep the bats warm.
Knowing where your towel is sounds like some sort of special thing, but I expect that most people know where their towel is.
I mean, that's fair. But I feel like there's a little bit more, like you have to take the extra step. It's when you're out and about, so you have to know where your towel is and have it nearby.
Yes, my towel is usually still in my bathroom when I'm out and about.
Then you're doing it wrong. How dare you? I have a towel in the boot of my car at all times, just in case.
In the boot of your car. You're
Yes.
getting a little too in character there. I feel...
Boot of my car, which is parked outside my flat, which is close to a Sainsbury. Meh.
I feel either underdressed or overdressed, depending on how you look at it, considering you two actually own robes, and I do not.
Yeah, some of us are intergalactic casual, and some of us aren't. No, I've had to wear a robe the majority of my life because my dad called them house coats, and when we lived in Oregon, he's just like, if you're cold and you're in the around the house, you put this on because we're not touching that thermostat.
You know,
fair.
I was gonna laugh at house coat, but now that makes sense.
And slippers, and I was tricked into a life of luxury by its efficiency.
That's how they got you into a life of bouginess.
I don't think I've ever owned a robe.
Really?
Yeah,
never?
I'm pretty sure I've never owned a robe.
Even having lived in Wisconsin.
Yeah, I've owned full-on pajamas.
So what?
Like
I almost wore mine
long
today, except mine don't
sleeve
fit.
top and pant bottoms.
But no robe.
I've owned, two-piece button-up, pajamas. But I
Did you
don't
have button
think
flat
I've
or butt
ever
flat pajamas?
No.
He wasn't wearing a union suit.
union suit.
Yeah, that's what they're called.
Is that seriously?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, the one-piece pajamas with the butt flap.
Is a union
Why are
suit.
they called union suits, Brooks? Do you know the history of this?
I don't. I know that's what they're called.
Huh. Interesting.
It's difficult being.
I've never heard that term before.
Is it because is it?
I don't
making
think
fun of unions because you have easy access to your butt, and could be a political statement, right? Like,
save your jokes for Tammany Hall, sir.
So, over the past week, we've had, it was 4th of July.
The 4th of July.
I didn't really celebrate. I didn't do anything. I was thinking it would be cool to go up on the mountain and watch all of the fireworks in the valley.
And then you didn't.
That
And
involves
then I
having to
didn't.
climb the mountain.
But apparently, I didn't realize they closed the trailheads.
Did they?
So, and like all the trailheads close at night except for one anyway. And the one that is usually open at night was closed for 4th of July.
Interesting. That's surprising. You'd think
well, they don't want you to die on the mountain on America's birthday.
Well, and I would think that would be the common thing to do is go to a high place and watch all of the fireworks.
Yeah, you'd think they would maybe even like have a special thing.
You ain't
right?
been in Arizona very long, so we're trying to find the flattest, most obscured piece, so that way we don't see none of them. They're sparkly lights, because as we all know, light from the sky tries to kill us most of the year.
You're making us Arizonans sound like uncultured hicks, Brooks. How dare you?
Well, I'm not from here, so I can talk as much shit as I want.
Oh, shit. That tells us a lot, doesn't it?
But what I did do, since I had the day off, was right at midnight, started watching Stranger Things season 3,
Oh, yeah.
and was finished with it by 7:30 in the morning.
That's a pretty good time. Do you
Well
have
done.
any? Did you watch it all the way through? Did you like
All the
stop
way
for
through.
pee break or?
I mean, there were some pauses for pee breaks.
Now he actually kept a little water bottle that he peed in, and just nonstop, nonstop.
I just had a cath. And ran the catheter into the bathroom on the other side of the wall, so I didn't have to go anywhere. I just, instead of, the inefficiency of having a pee bag attached to me,
Just have it
I
go.
cathed and had it run the length of the house to the
This is
bathroom.
the 21st century. We need to find wireless pee bags,
I feel like the length of that.
cordless pee bags, the cordless catheter.
Google's working on free Wi-Fi. Why don't they work on some
Yeah,
wireless
give us
pee bags?
technology
That's
we'll really use.
It just makes me think of all those targeted ads that John Oliver did to Donald Trump. I
cath.
Yeah.
It's
I
all
feel like-
it's all fun and games until you have to cath a 90-year-old woman.
That doesn't sound like a fun time.
That practical was actually. That was the worst part about it, but it was a fun time. I got to do a spinal tap. That was cool.
Wait, you've cathed an old woman?
Yeah. So when I was in EMT school, you had to do a 12-hour shift in the ER as a for your.
I
your
cannot
hands-on
take you
practical.
seriously talking about EMT school with those glasses on.
Oh, okay.
I'm just imagining Dr. Demented like this.
What's this? I got the bone saw.
I'm going to take this rubber hose and shove it up your urethra.
No, it was interesting. It got boring for a while, and I took the class twice, so I had to do this. I've worked a total of 24 hours in the emergency room, so
This sounds
cool.
Okay.
But the catheter thing, I used to I didn't really know what that was until I went in there. I was like, oh yeah, you just it's a thing you pee into, right?
Oh yeah, no, totally. It's a tiny target that you
Going
aim at.
all the way up it. Well, I was just like, oh, it's like a thing you you put on your wiener or something.
Just a bag. You get a plastic grocery bag. You just wrap it around your cock.
I envisioned
rubber
like a
band
balloon.
around it.
I envisioned like a balloon opening, and it's and then it leads to like a bag with a hose, like.
Worst balloon animal ever.
Not cider.
Knowing how a cath works, a long tube like that going all the way to the bathroom, the pressure that you have to build up over time, it's just, that would not work. That would not work.
Well, you junction it off, and you have a secondary hose with water in a syringe, so you just it helps make it.
Or you get like a little fish pump that introduces air into the system.
Now I'm imagining just a catheter that's a Rube Goldberg machine.
And now when you say that, I'm just imagining any time that I pee.
And then you just have a why are there dominoes to help you pee?
Piss.
Every time you piss, a balloon gets a little bigger.
That's how I make my breakfast in the morning.
Easy there, Wallace. Or Data.
What did you think of a Stranger Things season 3, though? I'm halfway through it.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. I feel like there are a few moments that feel a little hammy because they're fully aware of what they are and how popular they are. And so some of it comes across as a little fan servicey or a little, camera winky.
Yeah.
Like the 80s, a lot of the 80s references that you throw in there,
some of that
like,
stuff is it's some of that stuff, and basically it is a reference is what it comes down to.
Mm-hmm.
There's a particular use of a certain song that is just I don't know and specifically where that song comes up, it's element of the story Like it's the part that it plays in the story, and when it's happening is frustrating. I get it, it's cute, but it is ill placed for a laugh, and I don't know, it's just frustrating because Stranger Things seems to kind of balance on this tightrope of taking itself seriously as a horror, as an homage, a genuine homage to 80s horror.
Yeah.
And referential comedy.
Yep.
And sometimes that referential comedy is getting in the way of it taking itself seriously as a legitimate homage to 80s horror.
I can see that.
Overall, though, would you say that you liked it?
Overall, I loved it. Overall, I absolutely loved it.
I agree. Like, it definitely felt like some of that referential, like it was more on the front page with this season so far. Like, there are definitely moments. Okay, I'm like, okay, Stepford Wives. It's okay, there are just like moments that were just like, okay, that's obvious. They're making this reference, and it just felt like it was straight. It wasn't as subtle as seasons 1 and 2 seemed to have. This season, definitely, at least in the first. I'm only 4 episodes in so far. Okay, but in those first few episodes, there are definitely a lot of moments like that where it's just like, okay, you're hitting me in the face with this.
Yeah,
but I like that, so I don't. It doesn't bother me, but I can see where you're coming from.
But everyone's favorite quote out of the season so far seems to be, "You can't spell America without Erica." And it has confused a lot of people, like people who were real quick on watching at least several episodes of the series, jumped to Facebook to post just that with no context. And the comments on some of these posts are very funny because it's a lot of people who have no fucking idea that it's a reference, let alone what it would be referencing.
I think I saw somebody post something about that, and I just kind of scrolled by it because I was like, I don't know who Erica is, so
yeah,
like, are we? Maybe this is like a song lyric or something. I don't know. I do look forward to watching this 3rd season though, because I will do it in my own time because 4th of July. So I managed to get a Saturday off for the first time in ages because due to the scheduling at work, my boss was like, "Hey, I can't have 2 people work on Saturday. So you can, if you work these crazy Thursday, Friday shifts, you don't have to. You can have a 3-day weekend." I was like, "Yes." The first day was hell. It was 13 hours.
Oof.
13 hours, and I was just like, and I brought a bunch of shit with me. I played Secret of Mana for like 7 of those 13 hours. So,
sure.
But it was miserable. 4th of July ended up being pretty nice because when I got back, all my friends were over, and almost all my friends were over, and they were watching Independence Day.
As one should.
And then, I've had something going on every day since, so I haven't been able to sit down and watch because I'm usually pretty quick with Stranger Things.
Mm-hmm.
I was ready when the first season came out.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
just like, this looks cool. I was super into Stephen King at that time. I mean, I still am, but I was like, I was reading a bunch of Stephen King, and I was just like, oh, yes, Stephen King kids, cool.
Yeah.
And I'm excited about this 3rd season because they go to the mall.
Yes.
They do go to the mall.
The mall subculture is some of my favorite shit.
Yeah. I was definitely a mall rat when I was a kid.
I was an aspiring mall rat.
Used to hang out at Aladdin's Castle and play Street Skater and
I used to go to Aladdin's Castle with my cool uncle to watch him play Killer Instinct. That was great.
I was never a mall kid.
Really?
No.
Yeah, I was definitely a mall kid. Like that was the thing. I'd hop on the bus and go down to the mall and spend all day at the mall.
I went to the mall. My favorite part of going to the mall was going to GameStop and getting, or whatever. It wasn't, I guess. No, yeah, GameStop. And just getting a game, and that was my only thing that I did at the mall. Maybe GameWorks. GameWorks was always fun.
All of my earliest jobs were at malls. I worked at Spencer's. And
you look like a Spencer's kind of guy.
You're the embodiment of Spencer's.
I got hired purely because I walked in drinking a weird colored Jones soda, and the manager was like, "You look like a goofy dude." Like that's.
I need you to restock the midget condoms.
And I actually
You didn't even apply. You just walked in.
no, I did apply. I actually got in trouble during Halloween while I was working there because we were allowed to wear the costumes that we were selling. And so I would wear the faceless Grim Reaper, robe. And mall security did not like that very much because you couldn't see my face.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I worked. I did time at a mall too. I worked for Sears, and that was
You look like a
so
Sears guy.
crushing. Yeah, it was nice. Well, like it was,
Disagree?
I don't know. Look at him lounging in this robe and tell me that's not a Sears guy.
well, maybe sans glasses, but no, it was a job. I got it like right when the recession happened too. I was lucky to get it. I had to peddle credit cards to idiots, and then I hated them all after I had to work there for a while.
Yeah.
As one tends to do.
Did you say I hated them all, or I hated them all? I wasn't really
Hated
sure. 'Cause
them all.
both were actually both actually worked. Because when I worked at Target, I hated them all, as in I hated every single person who walked into that goddamn place. Because holy shit, people are dumb when they lose their brain when they walk into any retail store. I swear. Sorry.
No, go
Yeah.
continue. Yeah.
No, I mean we've all been retail jockeys.
Yep.
My mall days were Spencer's, Babbage's.
Ooh.
Did you?
You
binge?
look like a Babbage's guy.
Did you binge with Babbage's?
Get the fuck out of
Okay, Brooks. I'm gonna.
Wait, he gets the threat, and I just get right in the face.
Yes, you know better.
I am the carrot,
I?
and you are the stick.
And worked at Suncoast.
Yeah.
You look like a Suncoast.
I wanted to work at Suncoast so bad, just because it was cool. All the movie toys they sold there, I was just like, I want to be a part of this.
It was great, man. It was the only place that, at the time, it was the only place you could get anime DVDs.
Yeah, I remember that. Or you had to get lucky and go find a bunch of bootlegs at some divey comic book shop in Mesa.
Yeah.
I've literally never been in a Suncoast.
Really? Well, they don't exist anymore.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say,
They
I'm
were
trying
part
to
of-
remember.
They were
Oh, I
part of,
remember the
Sam
story.
Goody, I think.
Yeah, I think
it was
so.
the same chain.
The
But yeah, Suncoast is kaput, is done for.
The last time I went into a Suncoast actually was the day before I graduated high school, because I went with my uncle, and there was this very specific candy that he was going for, which to me was like it's candy. But then when I got it, it was this like fizzy cola soda candy from
sure.
like, Japan.
Yep.
And I was hooked ever since. I
Yeah.
haven't been able to find them since.
We used to get, we used to carry the amazing Japanese gummy candies that
Those are
come in a
dope.
big bag that are
Mhm.
individually wrapped, and you could get like lychee flavored and green apple
those-
flavored, and they were like so full of flavor. Really, really awesome gummies. Some of my favorites. Actually, I love pretty much all Japanese candy. But
Japanese candy is delicious.
Yeah.
That's my favorite
And-
part of
and
going
it's
to like the
bonkers.
international market. Just walking down the Japanese candy.
Oh, yeah.
and candy, getting some Pocky.
yep, yeah.
Pocky nerd. You have to get Pocky for men. Well, they actually make
yes.
they actually make that, and to me, I'm just like, what differentiates?
Poke for men.
It's got testosterone chocolate. Test chocolate.
How dare you
Sorry.
not silence your phone during the
Oh no.
Get him.
Again.
Get him! Get him! Get him!
Yeah, so Stranger Things, we are definitely getting a season 4.
I haven't finished it, so I don't know.
Do you
anything
think
about
it'll
the
end?
No. I mean, as so, like, apparently it was originally pitched as a 4-season show.
Oh, okay.
So we are definitely getting a season 4. Even though I went into it thinking this was going to be the last season,
I
did
was
have
too.
that
and I
kind of
had to
feel
look it up.
with the trailers, like with the fireworks and stuff like that.
And the kids are getting older,
Right.
man.
Yeah.
Like, they are noticeably older than
Will-
season 2.
Will especially, where it's just like, oh man, you're gone from that little kid to like,
Yeah, right.
dang, they
Growth.
grow up so fast.
And we might get a season 5
At that
because
point, they'll
when
be-
What year is it in the show now?
1986,
Okay.
1985,
Okay.
I think, something like that.
Season 5 will be in the 90s. We'll
Yeah,
start
right.
getting some 90s references.
Well, like I wouldn't be surprised just because of how the kids are growing.
Yeah.
That if they advanced a couple of years,
Mm-hmm.
because like
Well, and
can't
one
have-
of the things that the creators said was, weird shit can't keep happening to these kids every year.
yeah.
No. At some
And
point, honestly, it's already starting to become a little unbelievable.
Someone's got to take evil takes breaks.
Yeah, right.
What are you talking about? Evil never sleeps.
But it's been over a year since season 2.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of lines up. My expectation is that we're not going to see season 4 until holiday 2021.
I was
could see that.
thinking that as well. Like,
It's like if that's the last if that is the last season, then I could see them doing something particularly special for it.
Yeah.
So
But regardless, I'm excited for season 4. I binged the fuck out of season 3 and enjoyed it.
how many
Obviously,
episodes are there?
9.
9.
I thought it
Oh,
was 9.
perfect. Okay.
Is it 9?
It's 9.
Oh, okay. I thought it was
Yeah.
9 9 9 9 9.
I just want to wrap this up with a fuck Billy.
Yeah.
Fuck Billy.
No spoilers, please.
Just
There's
fuck
no
Billy.
spoilers. We met Billy in season 2.
Yeah, I
and
remember.
It was
He's
fuck
still a
Billy
fucking
then.
asshole.
It's still fuck Billy now.
Nothing's changed.
Well, I feel like when you have a kid-centered thing in the 80s, you got to have bullies,
yes.
Yeah.
shitty people. So
Yeah.
it was kind of like with the first part of It,
Mm-hmm.
when they updated the bullies from the source material because of the 50s. And
Sure.
they moved on to I think like the 80s or whatever. And
Yeah, it's the
they
80s.
updated the bully to be an 80s bully. So they gave him, that I think he was wearing a Pantera shirt or some kind of rad band shirt. With
I
the
honestly
sleeves
can't
ripped
even
out.
I can't
remember.
remember all I remember is
He
the
looks like
PCK.
someone that I'd hang out with now.
What does that tell you? What does that say about you, Brooks?
That I'm
You're
cool.
hanging out with 80s bullies. How could
that,
you?
That he has become friends with his childhood bullies.
His
Billies.
child-
My
I mean,
childhood
Billies.
Billies.
My childhood Billies are my friends now.
It just sounds like he hangs out with a whole bunch of
chaps.
goats.
Your childhood Billies.
It just sounds like Brooks is a crazy guy who just hangs out in a mansion with a whole bunch of goats. It's just like, my childhood billies, they surround me and
I'm
make
surrounded
me
by
comfortable.
taxidermied goats on little carts with wheels.
Oh, God.
Yes, this is my friend, my goat Forsyth. He is my companion this day.
They are my childhood Billies.
My
They do not
childhood-
I've saved all of them. They stay the exact same age as they were when I was a child.
Preserved forever, just like Mama.
Oh, God.
So, another thing that has happened this week, and I'm debating on whether to even give it the time. But the new Ariel has been cast.
Yeah.
Uh,
Is that because she lives in the sea?
requisite silence.
Moment of silence for that joke.
And
dead.
people are upset because she's black.
People
and
She's a fucking mermaid.
Are
idiots.
trying to justify their being upset by applying non-logical logic to a cartoon character. One of which being that she lives in the deep ocean where the sun doesn't penetrate and she would not have melanin.
Yeah, she'd be like green, like in the original source material.
Yeah. And another fucking ridiculous one that I heard is that black people can't be redheads. Yeah.
You
Yep.
know,
These are the arguments. These are the arguments
it's really dumb.
about a cartoon mermaid.
Meanwhile, there are children in cages. But,
Yeah,
You know, we're going to spend our time on the internet, whining about a cartoon.
Yeah,
People are
it's
fucking idiots.
a bit ridiculous.
Honestly, it's just the things that are making me mad is people also trying to equate that with like, oh, if we changed Mulan to a white person, or if we changed.
Yeah, it's a false equivalence. Because it's about representation. Well, never mind that. It's about
If white
representation.
people aren't represented by something that swims in the ocean, I am offended.
When you think about it, like,
White.
as a young girl, would not think twice. As a young white girl, would not think twice in watching The Little Mermaid, because all media has been catered to me throughout my entire life. And but as a young, black boy or girl, to be surrounded by white characters in all popular media, I mean, come the fuck on. There's nothing wrong with trying to do something about that.
Yeah, I mean, So
Personally, I like it when you make changes like that. It's
well, and
interesting
from
way.
what I heard, the movie
Also,
gonna be
she
set
looks
in the-
incredibly perfect for the role,
Yeah.
and I heard her sing, and she's an incredibly talented singer.
And that's something I want to see more of, is Disney cast people that can actually fucking sing and their fucking singing roles. Looking at you, Emma Watson. Sorry.
What are you talking about? Her ADR sang beautifully.
I think that it goes without saying that if you have strong opinions about what color a mermaid should be, go fuck yourself.
Yep.
Shouldn't she be like a translucent, like green, gross color, and you can see her like organs and like bones and muscles? That would be brutal. I'd watch the fuck out of that.
She should be bioluminescent in order to more effectively attract her prey in the depths of the sea.
That's super.
Actually-
that's a cool idea.
actually
too.
wanna- I
I
wanna
also
see
heard that it's going to be set in the Caribbean.
Oh, is it?
Well, that's
Yeah, which
I like that.
again
Which makes sense.
Yeah.
Now Sebastian cannot be a weird stereotype.
Yeah, right.
cool. Now he's just a local.
Yeah, but the real question is, who are you going to get to play Flounder? That's not Josh Gad.
Yeah.
It's gonna be Josh Gad.
No, get Michael Cera.
Oh, please. Actually, that's a fantastic. I like
would be
that.
Or
hilarious.
Jesse Eisenberg. You know.
There
No,
is-
I need Michael Cera to be Flounder.
There is a petition to make Terry Crews King Triton.
I'd be okay.
I dig
with
that. I dig that.
And one of my favorite joke tweets has been a picture of Ursula with a picture of Guy Fieri next to it, and says, "Now hear me out."
Oh man.
Oh, it'd be fantastic.
Yeah.
Who are they
I-
looking at to be Ursula? I thought I heard that.
I would have
Melissa,
liked-
I would have
was it
liked
Melissa
to get
McCarthy
an
in the
actual
running.
drag
I think she
queen to
was.
play Ursula.
I would
like
that
they
too.
like they based the character on in
Yeah.
the first place. That would be super rad. Or
That
just-
would be really cool.
as long as people sing and they do well and it's fun and kind of original, even though it's a remake, but like, as original as you can get with the remake. Like the Aladdin thing, it's pretty good. I mean, movie's
loved
okay.
Aladdin. I loved Aladdin.
Movie's alright. I don't have any like super bad things to say about it because it's the same movie with just extra stuff sprinkled on top, and I like the extra
Sure.
stuff.
They changed Jasmine's character for the better. They made
She
her
actually
very
had a
strong
job.
character. They gave her agency instead of just being a toy batted back and forth between Aladdin and Jafar. Like,
I exist solely to advance the plot.
Yeah, I have not seen the new Aladdin yet.
I recommend it.
It's fun.
a
I mean,
lot
I'll
better
see it
than you
eventually.
think.
It's not something that I'm going out to the theaters for, though. And I do not go out to the theaters very often. And when I do, it is for something important or special. I mean, it took fucking forever for me to go and see Endgame.
Like UHF at Alamo Drafthouse in a couple of weeks.
Okay,
Can
that
we go?
actually sounds
Can we all
great.
go to that? We need
Yeah.
to all go to that.
Yeah,
because
that
wanna go
I
to
am.
that.
I am.
Zeke
100%
and I are getting
down.
tickets.
I am
All right,
100%
Let's
down.
fucking do this. Topless Robot goes to the movies. Here we go.
Surprise!
You get nothing.
You get to drink from the fire hose.
Oh, Joel Miller, you just found the marble in the oatmeal. Oh man. What is this piece of crap?
Absolutely nothing. You were so stupid.
But before we quote the entire film,
Yeah.
because like when Zeke and I have
Very
people
useful.
over and the idea of UHF being viewed is brought up, there is a disclaimer, and like we're not going to do this. You know, we're going to try really hard to not to, but we're just not going to do it. Like I can watch it with someone. Zeke can watch it with someone, but if you get the two of us together, we're going to quote the entire movie, even the not funny stuff, over and over again, because I've been watching that movie since I was like 10.
Yeah.
And so, no, I'm sorry. 10.
Don't you know the Dewey Decimal System?
Give me a steak, medium rare.
Gandhi's back and he's mad as heck.
We can actually get Dan to watch a movie.
Yeah, right.
Oh, wait, no, he
please.
works on Mondays, huh?
Yes, he does.
Yeah, so
Actually, so do I. I host Rock Band Monday.
So
Probably not going to be able to do it.
it's okay.
Whatever. I'll just get Tyler to host for me.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch. I want to go.
I remember seeing that and Chairman of the Board in the same weekend.
Oh,
for the
Jesus
first time.
Christ, Chairman of the
One of those is a good movie, and the other one's Chairman of the Board.
Wasn't Chairman of the Board that Carrot Top film?
Yep,
Oh,
yep. With
God.
the TV dinners with the screens
Yep.
in them that when you
Yep.
microwave them.
God.
Yeah, it was.
A film that is entirely fueled by Carrot Top's props.
And I remember
Fantastic.
seeing the ad for that movie in comic books right before that came out. It was just like, oh, it's Carrot Top. He's the guy from the 1-800-COLLECT commercials. 1-800-COLLECT. He
Yeah.
had every celebrity from Mr. T to Carrot Top
Yup.
and those in between.
I feel like,
Heavy quote celebrity.
famous.
hey, Mr. T is
People-
a hell of a celebrity.
Mr. T's cool.
Yeah, Mr. T's all right.
He doesn't have time for your jibber jabber.
Remember when he was in the World of Warcraft commercials where they had the grenades that you threw them, and they gave you like mohawks?
No.
Yes, that was a thing that happened.
Wow.
I like that Snickers commercial he was in with the tank. There was like some soccer matches going, and some guy was like faking a leg injury, like ref, and then just Mr. T in a tank, just going over all the cars in the parking lot. You know, it was.
I have no recollection of this.
Yeah, I have to watch that one later then, so I can remember being like 12 or 15.
So you mentioned Stephen King earlier,
I did.
and it reminded me that Joe Hill has a new series
Yeah.
on AMC. At
He
least I
looks-
think it's new.
He looks just like his pop. By the
Oh
way.
yeah, he does.
He's like a clone.
yeah.
It's kind of cool.
Cool, I guess. Stephen King's kind of weird looking.
Yeah, but that's part of his charm. It's like he's a creepy,
He
weird
looks
guy.
Yeah, he looks like a horror book writer.
Yeah.
He looks like he's in the right profession.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's only natural that his son take up the mantle.
So I have watched the first few episodes of it. It's called Nos 4A2.
Oh, Nosferatu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
NOS number
Is it on
4
Netflix?
A number 2. No, I watched it on a friend's Plex server.
Oh, okay.
I don't know where you can stream it. I'm sure AMC must have a service or something because it's being broadcast on AMC.
Okay.
And I've enjoyed what I've seen so far. It seems interesting. It's about a girl in Boston who has like learned that she has these powers. Like her parents are fighting and stuff like that, or are always fighting because her dad's an alcoholic, and they're like over missing things, right? Like he loses his watch when they're on some like summer vacation kind of thing, and so she hears every time she hears her parents fighting, she takes off on her dirt bike. So she takes off on her dirt bike and goes into the woods and finds this covered bridge that isn't supposed to exist because it had been demolished. Her dad was actually part of the demolition team who demolished this old bridge, and when she goes on the bridge, like inside is spray painted where it's going to take her. And it took her exactly like where the watch was and which was at this like diner where they had been vacationing.
Oh.
And so she goes and gets the watch and comes back. And so I haven't gotten the full explanation of her powers or the reasons for them or anything like that yet. But it's a very interesting idea. The whole time this is going on, basically, it seems that there are multiple people that have these various special powers. And there's another girl who can like ask a question, then reach into this bag of holding of Scrabble tiles, and she pulls out a handful and plops them on the table and rearranges them, and it answers her question.
Spoopy.
And but there's this other guy who seems to be the villain, played by Zachary Quinto.
Is this the Christmas thing?
Yes.
Okay, because
the Christmas Land thing.
I keep seeing like commercials for the show, right? But all the commercials show or talk about is this Christmas thing.
Yeah.
And so I'm just like, what the fuck is this Christmas show?
Yeah, it's definitely a weird show, but he seems to have be one of these people with these powers as well, but his powers are, like he's using them
for evil
and abducts children and shit like that, and
gross.
So it's
Spock would never do that.
Interesting so far. It's very, but you know who would? Siler.
Oh, absolutely. Save the
Before he
cheerleader,
was-
save the world.
Before he was ever Spock, he was Siler.
Was that
Yep.
his first like big role?
I think so. That's the first time I remember ever seeing him.
I remember tuning into Heroes when that first came out. 'Cause I was
Yeah.
like, oh, this looks cool. And
Because
then
the first season's great.
yeah, and then it became Heroes.
Yeah.
I stopped watching it.
You know the reason for that, right?
I don't.
The writer's strike happened.
Oh, I did know that. That's right.
And so they lost a lot of their writers as a
Man,
result of that.
That every time there's a writer's strike, you can see it in everything.
Oh, yeah.
You can see, like, you go back into those years and it's like all these shortened series or like.
But what's
or
cool is
weird
it also
episodes
resulted
and
in
then,
us getting Dr. Horrible sing-along blog.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, I haven't seen that in a while. I used to run with some theater kids, so I heard it all the time, so I stopped watching it. Honestly, like that any musical thing like that came out around that time that I was hanging with that crowd, I don't do anymore or watch because it has been beat to death. Like when Pitch Perfect came out, like when the first Pitch Perfect movie came out, I shit you not, I came home to my roommate and our friend watching it for 13 nights in a row.
Ouch.
Has it been beaten to death
I
like
hate
a
that
bad
movie.
horse?
I'm
And
not going to
Brooks,
dignify that with a response.
Brooks, and hey, it's a brand new day.
You will not continue this line of dialogue.
So one thing that's actually pretty fun is so on computers you can do traceroute, which gives you the IP addresses and names of the servers between you and a destination server. So you could be like, go ahead. Yes, you have a question.
What's a computer?
So I could do like traceroute.google.com and it'll tell me how many hops, like what servers that packet goes through in order to get to Google. And, if you do a traceroute of bad.horse, each server it hops through its DNS name is another line of the song.
Oh my god! And I need to see this.
That's so dorky.
I love it so
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
That's so nerdy.
It's fucking great.
Speaking of nerdy computer stuff, I installed the new Raspberry Pi OS.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it's called Buster, which is named after the dog from Toy Story.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's got some more secure features and
Rest
stuff
in
like
peace,
that. Yeah.
Jim Varney.
Yeah. No, it wasn't Slinky.
No, not Slinky?
No, like the dog. Like he gets.
Oh, the real.
Remember, so at the end of the first one.
Oh,
and
that's
the
right.
second one,
That's right. Okay. Because the only dog I think about is Slinky Dog.
Well, I think they had an earlier edition that was called Slinky. They're weird, but I found out that they have the fourth Raspberry Pi 4 is coming out next month.
Yep.
And it's got some really rad changes coming that and of course I get mine, and I just got it up and running and it's running optimally and I'm just so pleased about it. And then there's another one coming out that's better and I'm like, damn it. It's like
It's got some beefy specs.
It does, because you can choose how much RAM you get with it. The 4, obviously I'm going to go with the 4 gigs of RAM, because why wouldn't I? And a bigger processor, and it's got 2 HDMI minis outs instead of just one HDMI out, which is cool for the dual screen thing. And I want to create some stupid mad scientist setup in my room for it, because that's what I want to do.
Yeah, Raspberry Pi boards are a lot of fun. Yeah.
They're just fun because like I have to do hands-on stuff, and like I didn't grow up being a computer person, so like I had to learn how to do like DOS terminal commands to even update the stuff. And
Yep,
it's been really fun.
Well, shouldn't be DOS because
sorry.
you shouldn't be running Windows.
Not DOS, but
Bash terminal.
Yeah. Computers.
Linux commands.
I'm hacking.
Now you can play the video game Hacknet
Oh.
and actually use all of those commands.
Hacknet so fun.
I have it. I didn't play it. I stopped trying to play it because I didn't know how to do that stuff. But now I'm learning, and it's pretty easy. But speaking of hackers, did you hear?
Hack the
dude
planet.
that got
So Mad Monster, the horror convention that's here every year. was
I
last
totally
week.
forgot that was going on, and I wanted to go so bad.
So Danny went all three.
Of course he
days.
did.
He got me a movie that we're gonna have to watch sometime called Bloodsucker Jones and the Creeping Death.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's like Shaft with monsters.
Yeah, horror black exploitation, like
yeah.
akin to Blackula.
Yeah, and he hung out with the director. It's like a brand new movie too.
Oh really?
Yeah, he hung out with the director and got some insight into it. But he also met, because he was wearing his Ghoulies 2 shirt just randomly at the hotel, Matthew Lillard.
Oh no shit.
And he was talking with Matthew Lillard for a bit about D&D and his sweet shirt. And apparently in his panel he said that Hackers 2 is officially going to be a thing.
Hackers 2 already exists. It's called Antitrust.
Well, I mean, Hackers
Official
2 by
Hackers
name.
That is the official Hackers 2.
Really?
Yeah.
So there's a third one coming out then?
There's a Hackers 3 already as well.
There's another Hackers movie.
Apparently,
So-
we're behind the times on hackers movies.
The thing is, so
I've only seen the first one.
there are 2 follow-up movies to Hackers that are technically sequels to Hackers. In that, so Antitrust has an unadvertised prefix to its title, which is Hackers 2 Antitrust.
Okay.
And then Hackers 3 is actually the story of Kevin Mitnick and Kevin Mitnick getting arrested. So those 2 movies have nothing to do with each other, nor the first Hackers film.
So there's
Well,
spiritual successes in the same universe. But they're not.
It's not even the same universe, but they are literally titled, technically speaking, Hackers 2 and Hackers 3. So if you go to the IMDb pages for those, they're referred to as Hackers 2 and Hackers 3.
Okay. But this one sounds like it's going to be an
true,
actual,
yeah.
a true sequel.
direct sequel.
So we're getting a Hackers 4.
Hack the sequels. Yeah,
That'd be great. I mean,
I want to. If Angelina Jolie comes back,
I don't know. Like,
that'd be really rad.
it would
think
be
they'll get
rad,
River
but who
Phoenix?
are they going to get?
Oh.
River Phoenix isn't in it.
I'm joking. Wait.
Why is that
Isn't
a
he
joke?
in the first one?
No.
Why did I think he was in the first one? Am I
don't
just
know.
stupid? I'm just stupid. Sorry.
It's
Ignore me.
Matthew Lillard, the dude who is Sick Boy in Train Spotting, Johnny Lee Miller,
Yeah.
and Angelina Jolie, and those are the only ones whose names and Penn Jillette,
Yeah.
and
The only ones that matter.
the super racist Indian portrayal in Short Circuit. What's his name?
Not Gutenberg.
Oh no, it isn't. It also isn't him. It's a dude who kind of looks like him.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know what they do. Honestly, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah,
I don't think
I'm curious. I'll be happy to see Serial Killer come back and Zero Cool
It'll be
and
really
Acid Burn.
It'll be really nice to see Matthew Lillard doing something. Not again because he's been around, but like
Yeah,
see Matthew Lillard just like on the big screen.
I mean, I
I love Matthew Lillard.
yeah. Like he was great in Scream. He was great in Hackers. He was great in 13 Ghosts.
He was in Wing Commander. My mom loves that movie.
Man, now I really wish that I had gone. I'd be like, you want to come on my podcast, talk about D&D and stuff?
Right?
Probably would have been down. I mean, his company sells a really cool big box set.
Yeah, we've talked about it on the podcast before.
Yeah, and
That thing looks cool.
you know, he had that there apparently, and you know, stuff like that. But I can't wait for that Hackers movie.
Yeah.
I'm kind of excited for that too. I
Yeah.
don't know why I thought River Phoenix was in that. I just a big old dummy.
I think that came out after River Phoenix was already
you
dead.
might be right.
Yeah.
I'm just a dumb. I'm sorry. Ignore me.
Dummy.
Easy to do.
Fair.
Did you hear something?
Speaking of sequels, I saw the new Spider-Man movie. And
Yes.
How was Spoderman?
It is so good that I saw it twice in the first week that it was out. I saw it the opening night and on 4th of July instead of watching fireworks.
I have heard very good things about it.
It
but
is-
of course it's going to be good.
Oh yeah, of course. It is honestly super fantastic. And again, if anyone listening to this has not seen Endgame for whatever fucking reason, do not go see this movie until you see Endgame. It literally starts.
I
if
feel
they
like
had
it's been enough time.
if they had a spoiler warning before the trailer for this movie, don't see the movie unless you've seen Endgame.
Just be a responsible fan and try to keep up.
Honestly, it's been how long since that movie?
Look, it took me a while, and maybe those people were ahead of the curve because Endgame is being re-released into theaters with new footage.
already did. I think it.
Oh, did it already hit
was
theaters?
this last week? I believe.
Okay.
There, because in a very transparent attempt of trying to overtake Avatar for number one worldwide, it did not work. They did not make it.
Though I did hear that Far From Home broke Endgame's record for initial release.
Did it?
Yes.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, it's honestly, I loved it. Jake Gyllenhaal is a revelation as a villain. He is amazing. And everyone knows Mysterio is a bad guy, right?
What?
Here's hoping.
But the dramatic irony of that, of like sitting there watching.
Don't talk about the movie, Tyler.
I'm not.
I mean,
You're
to be fair,
getting there.
You very well may have spoiled things for
Everyone.
for people, because there was this moment when Jasmine and I went and saw Into the Spider-Verse, where I'm watching the Prowler, chase Miles Morales, chase Spider-Man, knowing full well that it's his uncle.
Well, you can bleep me out and spoiler me.
Yeah, but then I still have to hear it.
I'm sorry.
Jasmine, like, the moment where they reveal that it's his uncle in the movie, Jasmine goes, "Are we supposed to know who he is?" I go, "It's his fucking uncle." She's like, "Oh." And then they reveal.
I am sorry, but yeah, I figure. Sorry, I'll stop talking. But it's a very good movie, and it's definitely worth your time to see. It's a lot of fun.
I need to see it.
In case it's not, and the one last thing I'll put in here: stay for the fucking after trailer. If
it's been 10 years, Tyler.
Yes,
it has been a
but
decade.
this one is very important, and honestly, my personal
Everyone
favorite.
says that about every Marvel movie ever. Oh, stay at the end of Thor: The Dark World.
I still see so many people leave. I saw opening night, and at least half the
maybe
theater
those
left.
people don't care.
And you know what? They're fucking wrong. Internally
I mean,
scream.
Maybe they read the comic
people
books.
Really be wrong about what they don't care about when it comes to media?
No, it's true. It's unfair.
It's not very punk rock of you, Tyler.
But if you're seeing it opening night, I feel like you care enough about it. You should care enough.
What if you have to go home because your babysitter's time is almost up?
Maybe you've got a roast on.
Why did you
You have
start
to
a
go
roast
check
before?
your crock pot. Because what if that's just their family tradition?
Yeah, you put the roast on, you go and see a movie.
It's a little bit of
Come back and have dinner. Discuss
adds
the
an
film.
extra layer of drama to the movie. Like, are we gonna be able to get out of here before the roast is off? Is it gonna burn down our house?
Remember our house?
Mexican time.
Yeah, I really need to see that. I thoroughly enjoyed the first one, and
Spider-Man.
I think Tom Holland is such a treasure.
He is. He's fantastic.
And
he's a good Spider-Man.
God, there was
It's hard finding good Spider-Man.
there was this.
That's good on both sides, the Peter Parker and the Spider-Man side.
It's the same problem with Batman.
Fuck, I can't remember who he was on Graham Norton with.
Who, Tom Holland?
Yeah.
Is it Robert Downey Jr.?
Was it
No,
Benedict
well,
Cumberbatch?
It was not one of his co-stars.
Okay.
Who was talking about acting, and had him ask him for coffee as a demonstration of acting. He asked Tom Holland to just keep asking him for a coffee in several different ways, and it was fucking delightful.
That's amazing.
But I can't for the life of me remember who the damn celebrity was. It was like a notable celebrity, and
Cary Grant.
It was fucking. Are your references all 70 years old?
Some of them are 60. Clark Gable.
Yes. That's who it was. They dug up Clark Gable.
Buster Keaton.
Damn it, Brooks.
The guys from the Great Train Robbery.
Tom Hanks? Was it with Tom Hanks?
It may have been with Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks teaches Tom Holland how to act? Okay.
Yes, Tom Hanks.
Yeah, I did. I feel like I did see something about that.
It was fucking great.
I love the Graham Norton
By
show,
the end,
way.
he's just like, please, would you give me a coffee, Tom Hanks?
Tom Hanks, America's cool neighbor.
Man, Tom Hanks, there's a real treasure.
Yeah.
And if we ever find out anything terrible about him, it will be the end of the world.
He was too nice.
He forgot to say thank you.
He tipped too well. He didn't open the door for someone in 1983.
Yes.
Scandal.
So we have been releasing our Mario Maker Let's Plays.
Mario Maker.
And when we've not been recording, I've been playing the campaign, the story mode. And at the end of the story mode, you unlock a new power-up for Super Mario 3D World. And it's the Builder Hammer. And so you get it and you end up dressing up like Mario, like Mario Maker Mario with hard hat and stuff like that. And you got a little hammer, and the unbreakable bricks, gray bricks in 3D World, you can now break with the hammer. And if you hit up and Y, you generate little red boxes that you can throw and stack.
That's
Mario?
cool.
Yeah, it's very neat.
That's really cool.
Yeah, so
I
you
need to see
can
this.
you can add those to your levels once you unlock it, and incorporate that into
Ooh.
Maker levels as well.
Ooh.
I was wondering where they were going to go with a story mode, just because of the construction theme.
Well,
And
you build the castle.
Your princess is in another wing. Time to build it.
But yeah, all those levels were really a lot of fun and introduce you to a lot of the possibilities of what you can do in that game. Like, there's so many cool things that you can do in Mario Maker. It's the game that honestly you could play for absolutely ever.
That
fucking
was
love games like
I was talking to Zeke about that last week. When we got to play, or
Yeah.
a week and a half ago, when I got to play for the first time, and expressed that it was a priority that we get it.
Yeah.
So
Seriously, I mean, the replay value, people always talk about replay value of a video game, New Game Plus and this and that. You can play that game always.
well, and the cool thing about it is that because people around the planet are also playing it and creating their own levels and stuff like that.
There's always going to be something new.
Yeah, there's always something new. There's always you're always going to have stuff to challenge your friends to. And even the game gets like 4 or 5 years old, it's still going to be fun.
Yep.
Because you're still going to have stuff to do.
Yep.
But that's just Mario.
It's never going to really look dated either, just because with
it's
the
Mario.
charm of
Yeah.
Nintendo and Mario, just it's always gonna look good because that's
And especially considering like it uses the old styles, so it's supposed to look dated.
exactly.
You know,
It's
in
meant
the
to
first
attract
place.
those old people like Ryan.
It's used to attract those people that think that old is better than new. and- Back in the good old days,
Yeah.
we didn't have ray tracing and
But yeah,
3D graphics.
It's a wonder that I found time to initiate the proper ending of Bloodstained.
Oh.
With all the Mario Maker that I've been playing.
You actually got to play more than the 10 hours that you put in.
Yes. Because, as I told you guys before, I found the end boss, Jeeble, and I just beat him. And they're like, well,
Jeebles, mister.
we came here to do, or we did what we came here to do. I guess that's it. And she's like, but the castle's still here. He's like, yeah, it's not our problem. We'll leave it to the church. And they leave. And that's the bad ending. You immediately get a game over screen.
But you got the good ending.
I have not beaten it yet.
How many endings are there? Do you know?
There are 3 endings that I know of.
Perfect. Because my favorite RPG, as we all know, is Chrono Trigger. That has like 17 or 18 different endings.
Yeah.
And that's a lot. It's a lot to ask of anyone that's playing a game.
But
I don't care how good the game is.
if you've played Symphony of the Night, then you know that the way to find the other endings might be a little obtuse.
Yeah.
I accidentally got the second bad ending. It was completely by accident.
The second bad ending?
Yeah.
So there's only one good ending?
Well, that's usually the way it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's so 2 bad endings.
Yeah.
You have your so-so endings. The congratulations, you met the minimum requirements to beat the game.
Yeah, I mean, arguably the second bad ending that I got would probably be the worst ending.
It was all a dream.
Where what happens is instead of just beating Jeeble and going home, you replace Jeeble as the new one who's under control by this demon force and become the next, bad thing because you're super powerful.
That would be kind of cool if you
But
could, if
then Jeebles becomes Graybles, and that's how we get the ooh continuum.
5 short Grables.
Damn it. No, it'd be really cool if with that ending, if you could actually continue playing that save and you fight heroes that are coming
That would
in
be
at
pretty
you.
cool.
That would be
That
sick.
would be pretty cool.
That'd be a super cool
But no,
little
you just
Easter
get a
egg.
game over screen
Oh.
and an achievement.
Womp womp.
Um,
Is that something else you tripped over, or did you? Set
That's
out?
something that I tripped over because and I looked it up. I saw the achievement. I'm like, wait, that was a different ending because it ended the same way that the other one did, except with one piece of dialogue spoken and without the end cutscene.
Yeah.
It just cut straight to a game over. There was no discussion of, well, we did it. It just cut to the game over with one piece of dialogue that's like, you will be perfect, something like that. And it was because I had gone off to find this other area and progress more, knowing that I would have to come back. And I fought a boss and had a cutscene that gave me a thing and told me exactly why I had to have this thing. And I went, oh, great. All right, cool. I'm ready for the boss fight now. And I go off to the boss fight. And apparently just having that thing is not enough to win that fight.
Well, you need the 7 secret rhinestones of the cosmos.
I am doing my best to avoid spoilers, but yes.
I appreciate that because I am gonna. That will be something that I knock out of the park because I have to. I am compelled by my love of Castlevania.
It is. I mean, it's everything that I want.
And more.
But man, it is definitely frustrating when you're looking at your health bar at 32 hit points and trying desperately to find that section's fucking save point.
When there's a number that represents your hit points in a game, instead of like a bar,
Mhm.
that makes me anxious.
Well, it's got a bar as well, but
Oh,
there's a
okay.
number next to it. So it does, and when you get hit, you see how much damage you're taking.
Yeah.
So when you're like entering into a new area and everything's hitting you for 80 to 150 and you've got 30 left,
It's time to go.
Scary.
Well,
Very
and,
scary.
and like in Castlevania games specifically, like Symphony of the Night and so on and so forth, like it was always fun to have to gauge whether or not I belonged in a certain area, because
Mhm.
like advancing to the next area, the enemies are gonna do more damage,
Sure.
you know. But sometimes it's like, well, these enemies are doing a lot more damage, but is this where I need to be?
Yep.
You know, and figuring out like what the gradient.
And in
is-
some cases with Symphony of the Night, with Castlevania, Metroidvania styles,
Mhm.
you can force yourself through those areas.
You can dance around enemies pretty well if you.
You can dance around them or tank them with a bunch of potions and shit like that. Except games that lean more on the Metroid end of that spectrum, less so. So like Metroid would have the areas that you couldn't get into because it was too hot and stuff like that.
Like using Symphony of the Night as the example that I'm going to use from here on out in this conversation. There are like a lot of areas where it's like, oh, I don't have that ability yet, so I can't jump up there, or
Yeah. So
I
like the
can't-
high jump.
or I can't pass through this grate because I don't even know what the fuck it's for yet.
Yeah.
But that's what makes those games fun.
Yep. Yeah. It's seriously probably my favorite style of game.
And the soundtrack rips, right?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Very, very clearly heavily inspired by the Symphony of the Night soundtrack.
Which is a super rad.
To the point where the boss battle music almost sounds exactly like the boss battle music from Symphony of the Night.
I actually used
It is legally distinct from the boss fight battle music from Symphony of the Night.
I actually used a track from Symphony of the Night in a presentation I did in college to like add spooky atmosphere to what I was
Was it
doing.
the
No, it was so when you get into the catacombs,
Mhm.
like when you like get into the pit, that like creepy like just a couple.
Oh, just
piano
the piano. Pring,
Yeah.
pring, pring. Yeah.
Yeah, I used that, and I had one person in my class. I was like, "Hey, I know what that is," and I'm like, "Marry me."
Did we just become best friends?
So, we have gotten to the end of the podcast, but since we ended up talking a bit about the Metroidvanias and whatnot, I need to get a quick rant out.
Do it.
Because Kotaku recently released an article about wanting to do away with the term Metroidvania.
Oh, I think I saw that this week.
Okay.
It's stupid, right?
It's very stupid. And their argument is that to people who are non-gamers, it is not descriptive of the game type. I would argue that platformer is not descriptive of the game type to someone who doesn't play video games.
Yeah.
Most of the lingo that we use as gamers are perfectly serviceable and not at all descriptive to the layman of what we're describing. You would have to use more than a single term in order to explain to someone who's not a gamer what makes that game go.
Yeah, and like, there is a I don't even want to call it a barrier to entry, but like, I want to call it a ticket booth. If you're going to, when you start using terms like Metroidvania as a person to describe like a game or something like that, it's like, I know enough about what I'm talking about to say this, or Metroidvania, I hear that first, oh, what's this? Oh, this style of game. And then you associate the word with that. And
Right.
If you're not familiar with the source material, then you eventually become familiar with the source material. Like, oh, this Doom clone, like back in the day.
Yeah.
Like, this game's a Doom clone. Oh, what's Doom?
Yeah.
Come on.
Or roguelikes.
That
Yeah.
literally was no one's gonna. If you don't play games, you don't know what a roguelike is.
Most
so, like,
gamers don't know what rogue was.
Right.
They only know it in the context of roguelike,
Roguelike.
and because they've played roguelikes, they have come to know what that means without the context of the game Rogue.
I've never played Rogue.
I've never played Rogue.
I have not, but I know what it is.
I know what it is. I'm
ostensibly
familiar
knew
with
it. Was
it.
I ostensibly know the term was phrased because of that game.
Yeah.
I have no idea what it was. To be honest.
So-
It's a neat game.
It's a vernacular that we can use these single word terms or hyphenates, whatever, to describe these games as shorthand to communicate with other gamers what type of game a game may be. However, I would argue that any game at all, any style of game whatsoever, say for sports or racing, that you would have to describe to someone who has never played video games would require more than a single word or hyphenate.
Yeah. And that's, also, what's wrong with the term Metroidvania? It sounds cool.
And it's very...
It's descriptive 100% as to what the game's going to be like.
You know exactly what you're getting into if you see a game described as a Metroidvania, if you've played that style of game before.
Yeah.
Like,
It translates to hard game that I wander around a bunch of places and find stuff.
Yeah, and get upgrades in order to unlock paths and backtrack in order to
it is no
progress.
different than the term RPG
Right.
or FPS.
Yep.
in all honesty, I feel like it should go the opposite of what Kotaku's saying. We should make it an official, not a vernacular. Like, it should be an official type of game. Like, it should be a genre.
Yeah.
I
Well,
would
I mean,
argue-
it basically is.
It basically is, but you still see it like it's not a
Action
true-
platformer.
Like, it's not RPG, action platformer,
ARPG.
FPS. Like, it's more of a gamer vernacular way of describing what the game is, but the
Sure.
official game type is not a roguelike or a Metroidvania. But I say that it should be, like,
Yeah.
because it is so descriptive.
Keep
I agree.
it simple, stupid.
Yep.
Kotaku.
And I would also argue that this is a case, as I've seen far too often lately, of some gaming website taking a dumb hot take for clicks.
Yup.
A really pointless hot take for clicks.
We would never do anything like that. But I can't
Never.
wait for next week's episode when we talk about lesbian Nazi hookers abducted by UFOs and forced into weight loss programs.
Yeah,
Next
no,
week on Town Talk.
I have specifically tried to avoid clickbaity titles. And
What you mean
things
if you
like
have
that.
no ween, you can't commune isn't a clickbait
That's
title?
not a clickbaity title. It's just funny.
I'd argue it's pretty clickbaity. I mean, I cannot avoid that clicking that one.
It's just funny, and that's,
Ryan can't find his butt with both hands.
it's just taking something funny from within the episode
No,
to title the episode.
I love our
that's
titles.
that's common.
Our
shit.
titles are fantastic.
We should do a shitty clickbaity title sometime for something that's super bad for the most boring thing we do. Insane man reads the phone book for an hour.
You won't believe what happens next.
Yeah.
Tyler sits there.
You won't believe what happens when he gets to the ends.
He starts over. Hot.
All right. On that note, that's going to do it for us. Thank you for watching and or listening. We will see you next week.
You will watch us next week.
Hypnotoad commands it. Bye-bye.